We've sorted out some cherry, mahogany, maple, and walnut, and we're going to try to duplicate that cutting board that was shown on a video. McCurry at Would You Make It? Now, he used ash where we're using maple. So what we're doing is, I don't have any 8/4 to speak of for the cherry or the maple or the walnut. So I'll rip these pieces into 2 inches, run them across the jointer, straighten out the edges, flatten it, run it through the planer, and then glue it up into billets like 2 by 2. And we'll go from there. So right now, Don Wilfolk's helping me, and we just actually finished straightening out one edge on the jointer, and now we're going to rip some more pieces into 2 inches. We've actually ripped most all of the cherry, and now we're working on the maple. Don, flip it over, it's cupped this way. See how it's cupped? You won't, no. That way this little board was cupped, and it was cupped going this way. If the saw blade comes over, it tends to pinch it and pull it down. So the way to get away from that is flip it over where it's the convex is down and the concave is up. I'm not going to bore you with all the details of how I set this up, but I took a bunch of walnut, cherry, maple, and some South Pacific mahogany, and ripped it. I had 4/4 walnut, maple, and cherry, but I had some 8/4 mahogany. So I ripped the cherry, the walnut, and the maple into like 2.5 pieces, each wide pieces, glued them up into 3 pieces, ran them across the joiner, and squared up one corner, and then ran them through the table saw, and then ran everything through the planer to make them all the same size. Well, when I glued up the 3 pieces to make the 2 or 2 1/4 inch square, you want to, I made sure that I made the rings work against each other. In other words, if you put 2 of them and all the rings are turning to the left, you're going to wind up with a cup in it. So you want to turn one with the left and one to the right and glue it all up. So I did that with all those pieces. And you can see here how it came out. Some of them actually ripsaw, some are concave. And so that's the way those pieces came out. Using Doug McCrory's pattern is walnut, mahogany, walnut, mahogany, walnut, mahogany, walnut, mahogany, walnut. So I glued those up. This one is maple, cherry, maple, cherry, maple, cherry, maple, cherry, maple. And I take these and I run them through a surface sander to smooth everything up, and then come back later on, rip them, turn them, make the pattern, re-glue them, and then I'll run these strips down through there to give it the plaid pattern.
We're going to use the crosscut sled to square up one end that'll then sit against a rip fence. We can make repeated cuts at the same thickness. All right. So we're getting ready to do the cross cuts for the maple and cherry and walnut and mahogany pieces for the plaid cutting board being made. What we're going to do is square up one of the ends so that we can take that squared off face and put it up against a rip fence and do repeated cuts at the same thickness. Final thickness is 1.5 desired for the cutting board, so we'll go a little bit bigger for 1 5/8 to give us some fudge room for the final flattening. Actually, we might go 1 3/4 since we're going to rip it, glue the maple, rip it again, and glue the walnut. That way we definitely have plenty. So we'll do 1 3/4 rip cuts, but first we need to get it one face of it square. So every time you're about to make a cut, it's smart to verify everything's square. So I just raise the blade up as high as it'll go to avoid the teeth, potentially making it crooked. So I'll bring the fence up to this and then just slide my square along the blade and check it with the fence. And so we're a little bit out. And then ride it up again, check it one more time. There. Now we got a square face. And then in theory, we'll put this edge up against, better, up against here. Something I like to do. Just draw me a line all the way across from the shortest side. And I use a 5mm pencil lead because the smaller the line, the smaller the error. And then there's two thoughts when adjusting the blade height. One, you go just to the gullets, the valleys in the blade. That way it has the ability to clean out the wood. Some people, for a safety feature, will go to where the blade's just above the cutting surface. It's a soft stop, so there's the safety feature. So I'll go ahead and bring it up all the way to the bottom of the valleys. That way it has a good chance of getting the clean out. Let's do this. We'll bring this line down so I can line it up with the blade. All right, and to ensure it doesn't really walk on us, I'll bring this up to it. All right, I have glasses on, I'll put hearing protection on, I'll start up the dust collector and we'll make the first rip, see how it turns out. All right, so it's a little bit off from where I wanted to be. So now I can just come in . Go to right there. So we're gonna run this one more time because it's probably about a 30-second off right here. So dust collection and saw. And usually you can tell with your fingers, they never lie. If you're wanting enough, anything's flush, you can feel even the smallest ridge with your fingertips. So running that across, that's a good cut right there. We'll just lean these right here. And then it's rinse and repeat until we get them all done. Yeah, so let's do that. Take this off and get it out of the way because we're going to bring the fence up to our desired thickness. Just set it right there. All right, so our desired thickness for the board is going to be 1.5, and we're going to have to rip it once this way, do a glue up with some thinner strips. Once that's done, we'll turn it, rip it another way. So you're going to lose, well, you won't lose thickness though. You'll just lose width. So we only need to do these.
The thickness is 1/8, right? The strips.
Mm-hmm.
The blade's 1/8, so you
yeah, that'll work. I'm just thinking about height-wise. I don't need to do 1 3/4. I can do 1 5/8, and that gives us 1/8 on either side to.
I'll just make it 1 3/4 and finish 1 5/8.
Okay, we can do that. I like to just verify on both ends. A bit more. My measuring tape on the table saw needs to be replaced. After a couple years of sliding it back and forth, it's starting to wear off. All right. So that is set to 1 3/4. All of these faces are flat. We're good there. I'm going to grab a push stick. All right. Yeah, we'll just take them and set them off to the side over here. And I'll just keep it going until we're done. All right. I think we got 9 out of each. 3, 6, yeah. So you got 27 total of each kind. And then you can just do a quick check and see how it looks. Here, let's do this. That way we don't get things mixed up too much. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Just to try to keep them in order, and in case there's a cool pattern we can come out with. Remember how many of these are going to be in?
3 total, 3 cutting boards.
No, I mean how many sections?
I don't know.
It'd be good to lay that out.
With 9 across. You know what that might be big enough. Would that be big enough for 1 cutting board?
We can measure here and see what it is.
Put it up against the saw fence.
What's that?
Square it up.
Yeah. Just want to see how everything lines up.
Looks good, doesn't it?
Sure does.
Somebody did a good job squaring up those.
That's 18 3/8 by 15 7/8.
Is that big enough? Should be, huh?
I think this will be a good size. I mean, it's going to be pretty stout. Any cuts now, it's going to be the width, the thickness of the blade is going to be replaced by the thickness of the slats that are going in. So this will be your final I mean, this will get compressed in once it gets cleaned up and all that. And so next step from here is glue these up. Once that's cured, come back, flatten it, clean it up and everything. Then you start cutting in sections one way, get that done, and then you got to cut one more time this way. We're just going to determine where the walnut strips are going to go and where the maple strips are going to go. I would imagine the maple strips here to cut the walnut, then the walnut strips here. I think that'll look sharp.
I think the walnut strips will look through the maple.
Yeah, walnut. Oh, so walnut go this way, and then is it maple?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that'll look nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll need 15 walnut strips. I think we have enough. All right.
Yeah, that's great. So we can get, how many boards can we get out of it?
Well, let's see. We used 6 of those and 5 of those. And we had 27 to start with. So you can get 4 out of it.
Please stack them over there and make sure.
Yeah. Can take and get these all the same thickness. There's your cheese slicer.
Yeah, sure is.
You can do a plaid cheese slicer to match the plaid cutting board.
Yeah. You keep those.
There you go. Down, and we'll have a straight edge now because it's maybe a 1/16 off in the middle. Now the to see how shallow this thing. Oh, wrong side. Yeah. So it looks like if I line up with this face, it'll trim off everything else. Even amount from here. All right. Get some dust collection going and we'll do this rip. I guess it's going to be, this one's just shallower. But I don't know. Yeah, there. All right. Now here we go. So I've got 1, 2, 3 faces done. We can see some flatter nut. Yeah, it's got a slight bow in it, so we'll skim that one and then she'll be good to go. All right, we're going this way. A little bit more. Yeah, that'll be good. All right. I may use the rip fence. I moved this the other day and I'm starting to get a little bit of rub. I don't know if you noticed, but it cocked just a little bit. So we'll do this with the rip fence. It's big enough. There we go. All right. All right, so now there's no wobble, so all of our cuts should be good 90 degrees from the faces. And you want to do the walnut strips or the maple strips? Let's line up to do the walnut strips just to see what it looks like since we have one with maple in it already. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Get these down here. Make sure we're long enough. Yeah, all right, good there. So now, let's see how wide each section is so that we can do a pretty face. So yeah, I'm doing millimeters just because it's easier to do the math. Instead of worrying about lining up the end, I just go to the 100 millimeter and then see how wide it is. They've been about 142 to 144. This is 144. So it's really 44 rather. So half of that's 22. It's much easier math than dealing with imperial. So it's really 144 and a half, so I'll do a fat 122. If somebody can see half a millimeter, then get on them. All right. After doing that, I'll just bring the line straight up and down, so it doesn't matter which face we're on. Now what we'll do is each individual one, we'll line it up to the face, to that line, do a rip. The first one's going to be different. These could be the same, could be off just a hair. But from here to here, from here to here has typically been the same. So it might be the same there. And we're going to go ahead and take this out. Get it out of the way. So on this glue line rip blade, every other tooth is a flat face, and the ones in between are curved a little bit. So I always like to make sure I'm up to the flat face. And I'm just eyeballing the best I can to the middle of the line. Alright, so my 5mm pencil line is pretty much right in the middle of this tooth of the saw blade, so we should be good to go. And I've already got this set up to where I'm just going to straddle the pieces being cut. Almost forgot, in order to keep up with them, once you start cutting it up to make sure you're lining the right pieces back up together again, I'm just going through and putting 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, and 4, 4. That way it makes it easier sanity-wise to keep up with everything. All right. Alrighty. Cut number 2. Yeah. Alrighty, and then we'll take,
This thing's really gonna be pretty.
get a little sneak peek. We'll get a little sneak peek of what it's going to look like with the walnut in there.
Yeah.
That'll be pretty. And so now, we can cross cut the other one so we can set it up.
So after all the glue up, all the ripping of the cross-cutting of the pieces, ripping the piece again, inserting the walnut and maple strips, putting a radius on the cutting board, CNC in the juice groove. This is the final product. This is after you soak it in mineral oil and apply a beeswax mineral oil compound finish on the top of it. So if there's something that you missed in my video, be sure and go back at Mike McCrory's Would You Make It video on a Plaid cutting board. Enjoy. Try your hand at it. It's a beautiful piece. Thank you.